Hey friends, it's Michelle with Garden Jargon. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm here at my house, at my home garden today. It's May 1st and it's disgusting outside. It's nasty out here today. It is probably 45, maybe 46 degrees. And every time I do something in my garden, I try to bring you guys along so you can watch the progress of what's going on in my garden. Or it may be something that you may be doing in your own garden and you might want to watch kind of some tips and tricks of what I do. I am currently, right now, I had the greenhouse up. You can see that hoop tunnel behind me, that caterpillar tunnel. You can see the tarp laying on the ground, on the background right here. I took that down a couple nights ago because we were expecting some pretty disgusting storms coming through and I was heading to work. And I was really scared it was gonna like tear to shreds. And I just got it, so I wanted to protect it. And now I gotta get it back up because I gotta bring my plants out this week because I have a plant sale in like 2 weeks and I need to harden off all these plants, the seedlings, the tomatoes and the peppers. So with that being said, I have to prepare this space where I have this hoop tunnel in it right now so that I'm going to put a couple T-posts in the ground to secure the pipes that are holding up the sidewalls here on my greenhouse, just to give it a little extra support in case we have another storm. We could lose it all. It is not up to us. It's up to the good Lord above. So what I'm going to do is I have a little hand mower, little push with the wheel whipper that's in there, and I'm going to mow underneath there right now. Because I'm scared to start my mower. I don't even think I winterized it and it sat in the shed all winter. So I'm going to mow that really quick. I'm going to move the shelves out of the way, mow it, and then I'm going to try to throw the tarp back over the top of it, and we're going to bring out the plants tomorrow. Hopefully it starts to warm up. I did look at the 10-day. It's in the 50s every day for 10 days. And it's as low as 45 at night. But if we keep this greenhouse doors closed on both ends, because it is a double-doored greenhouse, hopefully it'll hold some heat in and keep those plants a little bit more insulated and protected. And let's just pray that we don't have any major catastrophe storm, because that would be detrimental for all the work that we put into these plants in my basement. So I'm going to set you guys up on the tripod. And I'm going to do a hyperlapse on this little project I have here in my yard today. So thank you for joining me today, but sit tight and watch the hyperlapse. Okie doke. So here I am just moving the tables and shelves from one side of the greenhouse to the other as I push this little antique hand mower that I found in I think a rummage sale for, I don't know, $5 or $10. It's very sharp, but very rusty. Now I'm pounding in the T-post into the ground. Those are just 2-foot, well, I think they're 3-foot T-post. And I have a post hole slammer, a T-post slammer. And then I ran and grabbed some pool noodles I got at the dollar store. I cut those in half, then slit a slit all the way up the side of it, except for at the top. I didn't cut all the way through, just so I can wrap them around the T-posts, so that way if there's any greenhouse poly blowing back and forth and hitting those raw edges of the T-post, it won't fray it won't fray the poly at all. And then I did the same exact thing on the other side. I'm only securing 6 total posts out of 10, but that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, so in this portion of the video, I'm just taking zip ties and securing the T-post that's wrapped in these pool noodles around 6 of the posts of the greenhouse. So that way it secures it from swaying back and forth. Okay, friends, now, if we can get the fire trucks at a bay, I can show you kind of close up and comprehensive of what I did for this greenhouse to kind of do my best to secure it for the 3 weeks that we're going to have it up, so it can protect my plants as much as possible. I live right across the street from a fire department, so there's some noise here and there. Okay, so let me show you what I got going on here. Let me flip you around. Okay, so this greenhouse is 20 feet by 10 feet. There's a door at that end and at this end. Zipper, and then you Velcro it up. So the only way that I can remember to keep it secure to the ground is this invention. I took these boards, I believe they're 2x6, 1x6s, I don't know, whatever this thickness is, half the width of a finger, and this wide, I believe this is 6 inches, and they're 2 feet boards. So from that end all the way to this end over here is about 2 feet. So once I get that green tarp up and over this hoop house, it actually has a lip that comes out about 2 feet when it hits the ground, which is perfect because it will lay on this part of the board, and then I put cardboard on the board, and then I put the cinder block right up against the greenhouse with the cardboard between the green poly and my brick, so that even if the greenhouse bows in and out with the wind, it's not going to rub up against my cinder block and get damaged or get rubbed on and mess it up. So that's what I did. I did the board crooked here and not very perpendicular because obviously I'm not level. I'm not on level ground. You can see that I'm a little off the ground here, but here I'm secure to the ground. And I did that 4 times around the entire greenhouse. You can see that one there goes on the corner post. This kind of goes here in the middle. This one's somewhat in the middle, and then this one's somewhat on the end. I did 4 of those on either side of my greenhouse. As I said, the storm was coming, so I took this off and just secured it to the ground, put the cardboard down, and put my bricks on top just to kind of secure it from not ending up in a tree or blown away. If you guys have not ventured onto Facebook Marketplace, you guys check your local listings on Marketplace. All of these shelves, all of these, with the exception of these 3 without legs and these, I got all of these shelves for $40 on Marketplace, which are perfect because you saw that I can set them up like this in singles. I can take some of the snow fencing that I got donated to me, and I can secure that between this shelf and that shelf and have a whole nother shelf here where I can put more plants on. I also have some more greenhouses that are just shelving greenhouses that I might secure in here and bring in here as well. Just depends on how much square footage I have on the ground out here. So I just wanted to show you how I secured that to the ground. As you can see here too, I put these brackets on it, conduit brackets I believe they're called, and it just kind of holds that down in place. These are the posts that I just drove into the ground. If you don't have a T-post driver, you need to get yourself one because they are pretty fantastic. So I pounded these into the ground to the depth that they can go, where the paddle gets into the ground. Then I secured this pool noodle around them. I kept the top, you can see it's not cut all the way through here, secure. You can see the T-post is right there. And I did that so that if the plastic bounces in here, it's not hitting this raw edge of this T-post and damaging my poly greenhouse. I also did some zip ties to just kind of secure this, not from blowing up, but basically from blowing side to side and possibly tipping over. So I did that for just extra measure. One thing that I have remembered to do this season, because I did this greenhouse out here last year, this greenhouse this year I did the zip ties, and what I made a mistake was I cut them when I was finished and they had a really sharp edge. So anytime this greenhouse would blow in and hit the sharp edge of my zip tie, it would damage the poly. So this year, just don't cut the zip ties. So I learned from my mistake last year. And I did that on all of the posts. Well, only 6. I have, 10 posts in this greenhouse, but I only did it on the 3 innermost posts in the center. That greenhouse over there, you can see right here, I did the same measure, but I did not put pool noodles on it. But I also did not have the poly greenhouse on this greenhouse all of last season, just a little bit in the spring, and there was no damage, thank God. But I will re-secure this in the garden this year, and I will put pool noodles around it again. So that's what I did in this new greenhouse. I'm pretty excited about it. But I wanted to get out here and secure this because I have friends coming over tomorrow that are going to help me bring all the plants from indoors to outdoors. It'll free up a lot of growing space in my basement so I can start more flowers, which is what I want to do. I think I just started 7 trays of zinnias. I have 4 gardens to put zinnias in. So that's how I secured this. Now I'm going to set you up and hyperlapse this. Strap your seatbelt on because it might be quite funny. I'm about to attempt to put the poly back onto my greenhouse by myself. Hang out for a second. You might get some humor out of this one. But hang on, we're going to do it. We can do hard things. We can do hard things. Okay, now we're inside this thing and the wind's picking up. So I'm going to get to strapping as fast as possible. They have these straps, Velcro, and the first time I put the greenhouse together, I actually put the side straps above here. So when the wind blew, it rode the straps up and the poly greenhouse came off of the ground. So I realized that these straps are perfect for right underneath this sidewall bar, so it can't lift up over the poly house. So before I had them up here like that, and then when the wind would blow they would ride up the pole, but I realized that they put them at the perfect height to strap them right here below that pole. Oh, and there is one down here as well. So I'm going to get those. I forget about these guys. Plus, when I have the cinder blocks securely in place, these bottom straps don't really do a lot. But like I said, I'm in Chicagoland Grove Zone 5B, and I'm doing my best to try to secure this in all the ways possible. Oh. Alright, so now what I want to do is take you out and kind of show you what I mean with the cinder blocks. Alright, now I want to show you what I want to do with the cinder blocks and kind of what my idea was. I did these last week. I need to use bigger cardboard, and I'm going to get some bigger pieces here in a little bit, but I want to show you what the gist of it is. See, underneath there, you can see where down here I put a, I think it's called a conduit bracket. They make them where it looks like it's straight. It's, what is it? It's like straight, and then it goes into a hump that goes over the conduit and straight, and you can put 2 screws in it. I couldn't find those, so I just got the ones with the 1 C, and then there's 1 bracket. So I put the screw through this one, and then this bracket is holding down the base of the greenhouse down there. And then that board is where I set the cinder block, so the board is acting like the stake in the ground, like a tent stake. It's just holding down weight with the cinder blocks, and I'm using 4 of them on either side of the greenhouse. So let me show you what I'm talking about, pulling this green poly down and putting the cardboard on it, and then the cinder block. Just making sure it's really tight. I'm using cardboard to protect the poly from the cinder block. Because the cinder block is obviously rough. As you can see, the brick can still touch the greenhouse here, and I don't want that. So I'll get different cardboard here in the next day or two so that I can protect my poly greenhouse from any extra damage from cinder blocks. This is the next one. Where's the cardboard? Oh, there it is. Got wet. It's blown away on me. Just kind of pulling that tight, putting that there. The fourth one. I should mention, I got this poly greenhouse on Groupon. I think I mentioned that in the first video. Groupon had this greenhouse on sale, $170, I think. So I bought it. 170 bucks. It's 10 feet wide by 20 feet long. And the last one, well, the last one's over there. So just give me a second. I gotta go do it. Give me a second. All right, and I already secured the other side. Just like that. Same thing. So this side I did and realized I wasn't recording. So that was bad. Same thing, I just laid the cardboard down. Obviously I couldn't go perpendicular here because the bird edging for the bird feeder area. And then those are nice and secure right there, right up against the greenhouse. Now I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna close up the door at this end. I think it's gonna stay a little bit more secure if I close the doors. That way wind can't come in and try to suck it up. You guys, this isn't something that is permanent. It's just something to let me get my stuff out here to harden off my plants, and maybe a little area that I can do season extension in my garden. This is my garden here at my house. It's pretty big, 45 by 45, but I might be able to pop this thing right over the top of a bunch of garden beds out here and extend my season next year. So all I'm gonna do is close the ends up and be done with this video. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today and coming along for the ride on my new toy this year, my greenhouse. And I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not yet already. I'll be taking you along on a lot of adventures this year for the 2022 season. Take care and God bless.